Pretty much every time I go online, I see this prophecy of the popes, and I think it is finally time to set the record straight. Pretty much from the day Pope Francis died, videos exploded online about the so-called prophecy of Malachi, a medieval list of 112 cryptic Latin mottos predicting every pope up until Judgment Day, ending with the ominously named Peter the Roman. Admittedly, some of these mottos seem dead on the money, like Pastor and Sailor for John XXIII, the Patriarch of Venice, a sailor's city, and Labour of the Sun for John Paul II, who was both born and buried during solar eclipses. And if they line up, it means that Pope Francis is meant to be the last. So should we be panicking right now? Well, let's take a look. This prophetic Saint Malachi was definitely a real person, Ireland's first canonized saint in fact, and his close friend Saint Bernard of Clairvaux meticulously recorded all of Malachi's miracles up to and including his prophecy of the exact date of his own death. But there's a problem here. Saint Bernard never says anything about papal prophecies, and that silence from Malachi's own biographer is only the first of some very serious doubts. So where did these papal mottos come from? For that we have to jump forward to 1595, 450 years after Malachi's death, when Benedictine monk Arnold de Wyon published them in his book Lignum Vitae. But when the first known copy of someone's work shows up 4 centuries after their death, it doesn't exactly scream credibility. The timing of the book is also very sus, published smack bang in the middle of the 1590 papal conclave. And the very next motto after the recently deceased Pope Celestine II reads, "From the ancient city," perfectly matching Cardinal Simoncelli of Orvieto, a papal candidate from that year. It makes the text look a lot more like campaign propaganda than prophecy. And spoiler alert, Simoncelli didn't get the job. Historians have also spotted a very curious pattern. Before 1590, the mottos are dead on, and then after 1590, they become frustratingly vague. For example, pre-1590, we have "From a castle on the Tiber" for Celestine II, who was literally born beside the Tiber. We also have "A sow in the sieve" for Urban III, whose surname Crivelli literally means sieve. But after 1590, we get "rustic animal," which hardly matches Benedict XIV, a city-dwelling scholar, and "swift bear" for Clement XIII, with no clear connection at all. Not to mention the maths doesn't even math. 102 popes have reigned since then, but the list has 112 popes, so where did the other 10 go? From a theological perspective, we should also note that the Church's magisterium has never once recognized these prophecies, and Jesus himself says, "You will not know the day or the hour," and yet we keep on trying. My final verdict is that I agree with the boring scholars that this so-called prophecy of the popes is apocalyptic hype. Despite a few lucky hits, it's almost certainly a Renaissance forgery. So please, instead of chasing hype, let's just pray for the soul of Pope Francis and for the cardinal electors entering the conclave, that through them God grants us a good and holy shepherd. God bless you all and keep the faith.